Quick reminder, in this tutorial, we'll be using a very sharp X-Acto knife and a hot glue gun, so please handle with care. Enjoy this free tutorial and follow along step by step. Let's make the head. Alrighty folks, before we commence with this video series on making the head, I'm not going to do a fold trace and fold cut of any of these pieces here, showing you how to do it. By now you should be able to do this. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, 4, 5, and 6. The main point I want to show you these pieces is the only ones you'll want to do is these two pieces right here. On screen there's no center fold marking here, but this middle line right here on your PDF downloads might have the CF for center fold. You'll just want to go ahead and use the center fold to make a fold trace and fold cut on these two pieces right here. These don't have a center fold because these are just trace outs here. Go ahead and fold trace and fold cut on food box cardstock or whatever template you want to make here, and then we'll go ahead and commence with this video tutorial series. I'm sorry if you can hear some noise outside. There's a little bit of construction going on, but I'm going to still do this anyway, so hopefully you can hear me clearly. Alright, so see these items in front of you? This is what we want to concentrate on. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? And of course we have the infamous face printed out on grocery bag paper stock. And if you've seen that video, that's where this came from. If not, go to that video on how I made these. Let's go ahead and start with Phase 1. This is cut out on food box cardstock. Let's go ahead and bring in our foam from Home Depot, right? I've already did some cutting out on this, so it looks pretty messed up, but don't let that deter you. Let's go ahead and take our Phase 1 square, place it right on the corner here, okay? We're gonna go ahead and, yes, use our Sharpie. We're gonna get more black fingers. That's okay. We're having fun. I like using Sharpie on this because it's real easy, especially like tracing on food box cardstock. It makes really clean, tight lines. We're gonna go ahead and put this right on the opposite corner on this side. There's a method to this madness. Go ahead and Sharpie this out, okay? So we've got two squares, right? Let's go ahead and cut this out using our trusty, very sharp X-Acto knife. We're not going to go exactly right to the edge. We're going to kind of go in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and stab cut this straight down. This is the part we need. We're not cutting on the outside of the black. We're cutting on the inside because that's where the Sharpie touched down onto the cardboard template. Okay, let's continue. Let's go ahead and stab cut this all the way down on this side. When we get to here, we're going to actually stab all the way down as straight as we can. I'm doing this on the table so you can't really get a good angle on it, but it should go all the way to the other side right here. We're going to stab cut this side, and this should be really easy since we already cut it. And we're going to also rotate this and stab cut the inside all the way down. We're going straight up and down, and I'm going to rock this down and go as straight as I can along this wall. As you can see, I'm going as straight as possible all the way to the other side here, and we should be able to have a good clean cut. Look at how clean that cut is. And now Phase 1 is already over. I'm going to put this in our head jar because I don't need this anymore. Boom. Let's go ahead and eliminate pieces as we go. Got a couple more phases to go before we actually get to the face. Phase 2, we're going to pick a side, any side. We can do this side or flip it over. As you can see, it's food box cardstock, doesn't matter. In this corner right here, this is actually going to be the chin, going to be the face, top of the head, back of the head. Place it on the top. We're going to take our handy Sharpie, blacken these parts out right here. Look how fun and satisfying that is. Now we got this piece right here. Flip it over and just do the opposite. Yeah, blacken this out. This is why I like to use Sharpie, because we're using black space to help us with the negative stuff that we need to cut out. We just did that. Phase 2 is over because all we're doing is tracing right now. As you can see, two sides, right? Two sides. Okay, so I brought my scrap piece of parchment paper because ink doesn't actually absorb into this, and now we're at Phase 3. Top of the head right here, the back of the head close to the neck, this is the bottom, this is where the face would be. We're going to take this tent-like tabernacle thing looking thing, I don't know. We are going to go ahead and place this right on top, okay? Right on top of the head. Keep in mind the skinny side that's pointing this way, this is the front face, and this is the back of the head, just so that you know what kind of orientation we're in. Take our trusty Sharpie, look at this. This is the effects of the Sharpie. We're going to just do the opening of the tent on the top of the head. That's all we're doing. We're not done yet. Flip it on over so the head's upside down. Do the same thing on this side. But we're also going to flip this around, blacken out these two corners, of course, that we cut off here on our template. So it should look like that. We should see the negative effects of the house and just the opening right here. We put this back into our head jar. Alright? And let's start with this back here. I'm going to take my X-Acto and actually meet this line to this line back here. Because these two ends right here, they need to be connected to the opposite side. Now that I made some score lines and I can see, for the audience sake, I'm going to blacken this all out because this all needs to go, right? We're going to go ahead, pick this side, stab saw it all the way down, stab cut it all the way down. This side as well, we're going to stab cut it all the way down. See, I'm following this black line right here. Very sharp X-Acto. Again, be very careful. And we cut all the way down. Now, the two conjoining top parts of the opening right here, we're just going to go ahead and pick this very top part and we're going to stab cut it all the way down. Just like that. See that? I'm going to pull that back up and do the same thing on this side. Turn it over to the very top of this. We're going to stab cut this all the way down. We're not at an angle. This is going all the way up and down. Same with this side. And we should be able to melon cut this out. Oh, that was so satisfying. Check that out. We can save this for later or put it in the trash. Right now I'm going to go ahead and put this in the trash and probably go trash digging later because I'll need that later. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the profile. Now that we cut all this out, this is going to be really easy. Actually make a score line on this side, but we can actually go right here on top of here and follow this pattern right here. I'm cutting this off. Check it out. Really easy. I like that. That felt so good to do. We're going to go ahead and make a score line right across here on the top like this. We'll make a score line right here just to kind of follow, and check this out. Go ahead and just stab cut it all the way down. Check it out. Now we're going to go ahead and follow this score line here, and we're going to go ahead and just go straight across and get that started with a score line like this, tweaking our X-Acto knife to this angle and just following this score line, getting rid of all this right here. Boom! Check that out. The reason why you don't have to be too meticulous is because this is all going to be covered up anyway. This whole foam head is to give us the shape for our face and for our mop top, our hair, okay? We're going to go ahead and concentrate on this side. This point right here, this point right here needs to be connected right on top, and we can actually make our score line just like this to conjoin it so we can visually see it. And for the sake of the video, I'm mark this all now. This all needs to be cut out right here. Also, this part right here needs to be connected all the way to this side right here. We can visually make that score line so that we can connect it right there, and I will visually blacken this out. Just that's all going to go and disappear. We can go ahead and just right in the middle, since we made a score line, we're going to go ahead and follow this path right down here, and this side should just pop off. See how satisfying that was? And we'll go ahead and do this side and just follow. Be very careful. Get your fingers out of the way. Just follow this, and this should pop off like this. Now we're looking good. We're looking kind of like a head. We're going to turn this over because we're not done with this bad boy. Do a score line on this chin and go straight up and down like this. Because we made a score line, we're going to make a score line here, and right here we're going to go straight up and down the profile of the face, right? Because this all is going away. I'm just black X's there, why not? We're following this straight up and down. We can actually start it up, go ahead and cut right down the middle here. If we want, we can just go ahead and follow this profile and just go all the way down following this black part, and then booyah, booyah tribe. Okay, we're going to do this side, do right in the middle here, just like this. And we're going to actually follow right along this path right here, right there, and we're just another booyah tribe, alright? We're feeling really good now, right? What we can do is we can go ahead and follow this straight up, this path right here, and we can go straight up and follow this path right here, because we're going to go straight down, and we're looking good. We want it looking like that. It's looking sort of like a head. It's going to fit onto this piece right here. Let's keep going. Okay, now we're on to phase 4, 5, and 6. What we want to do, PH4, phase 4. This is the bottom part of the chin. We're going to actually put the fold line right on the bottom part of the chin, like this, okay? And take our trusty Sharpie, blacken this out right here, right? And we're going to also blacken this out right here, okay? and do the top as well. We're going to blacken this all out right here and right here. Okay, this is all going to go away. And flip this over and blacken this out right here. This is all going away. Okay, and now we've got the front side of the face. That's good to go. We're going to roll it over and do the top side, and we're going to go ahead and blacken all this out right here. All this is going away. Flip this over, same thing, all this is going away right here, and then we can obviously go to the back side, and all this is going away right here. The good thing about this little divot for the next straw bone right here, you can shove this right on in here to help assist with lining everything up. Don't forget the bottom part of the chin. See how it goes narrow? This is the front face and this is the back of the head. The neck is actually facing the camera right now. Flap this over like this and color this out. So if we turn this on over, we got the front face, the top, the side profile, and the bottom. And that's what we're going to be looking at in terms of stuff going away. The 2 points right here are actually going to be the conjoining points. And this point right here was right here, and that point right there is right there. Okay, we got the front face, which is this part right here. We got the top, which is this part right here. And then of course the back, which is this part right here. And the bottom, which is basically this part right here, which wraps around the whole entire head. And we have these 2 points right here, this back point and this front face point. These 2 points right here actually wrap around the front face and go all the way to the back to make this horizontal line right here. That's what we're talking about in terms of connecting those 2 points together on both sides of the head. We're going to go ahead and make a score line on this black part right here. And keep in mind, this is all going away. I'm just going to put a black X right here just so we know that this is all going away right here. Concentrate on the stuff that is going away right along this jaw line. It's the jaw line. Start scoring a little bit in. We can follow this and then we can go ahead and make a score line right along the black that's going away, and same right around here. This is the top of the head. We're putting it down onto the table. We can follow that black 45-degree angle line on that side. And this one's a little bit more of a chunk. We're going to go ahead and take that away, and meeting up with this middle score line, we can probably just peel this off just like that. See how clean that was? So satisfying. Then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with this jaw right here. Starting it, but we're not going very far down. We're just starting it. Flip it on over to the top of the head, score along this line, and score this along this line. Like this, so that when we roll it on the top of the head, we can just go at the angle and get deeper cuts along the blackened out parts, and we can just rip that away. Oh my gosh, that was so satisfying. We've got a head. We got to get rid of these black horns right here. Actually, it looks like a receding hairline. We're going to shave this dude's head. Follow this just like we've been doing, and then follow this straight up and down. Follow this right along this blackened edge like that. And now that we made score lines, we can commit to this, just chop it on off. Same thing with this, following this line right here. We should be able to peel that off. Ooh, that was satisfying. Go ahead and do the same thing with this, putting this straight down on the table, following this line right here, watching our fingers, starting it, getting it scored, going straight down, putting it right onto the top of the table, going at an angle, following this score line here. Following this score line, and I'm going to bring it on back and just concentrate on this back part, following the same blackened part, like that, and just watch my fingers. You don't want to cut yourself, and then that just fell off. I like the fact that that just fell off. Okay, yeah, so we're looking good here. Now if you want, we can actually take these harsh edges and bring our scissors in and kind of smooth everything up. Hear that dog? That's my neighbor's dog. And we don't have to spend too much time cleaning this up here, because again, this is not going to be seen, but this is going to help the skin, the mop top, and everything else be a little bit more rounded when we attach it. We've got a head in a few phases, and we can go on to applying this. You probably saw my series on how we printed this out on grocery bag paper stock. If not, go to that video now on how we did this. We're going to go ahead and attach it to our foam head that we just carved out. What we want to do and concentrate on first, hot glue paper mache or paper leather is what I call it. And we're just going to go ahead and paint this glue on. We're going to do this in sections, turn this over onto the parchment paper, press it on down. It probably should be pretty dry now. And it makes this kind of cool little plastic film on this other side, making it a little bit more durable. And just finish the top part. Yep, we're good to go. It dries pretty fast and it feels thick and feels like leather. I'm going to go ahead and knead it, bend folding it, and just crumpling it up a little bit. We're actually giving it some shape and form. We're putting a little bit of curvature to it. This plastic film layer allows us to bend it and fold it without making too many wrinkles. There's going to be certain pieces of objects that we're going to need to have a little more wrinkles before we actually do that. But in this case, we can bend and fold and make it pliable without putting too many wrinkles. But also it adds more of a layer. So let's go ahead and add it on to our foam head here. We're going to dry fit it before we actually start gluing it. The bottom part of the chin is going to be a great marker to figure out where this is going to be placed onto the foam head. The bottom part of the chin is going to go flush to the bottom part of this foam chin right here. Eyeball it, making sure it's kind of lined up in the middle of the chin. We might have a little bit of paper creeping over. That's totally fine. We want that to creep over a little bit, but not too much. And once we know it's all lined up, I like how that looks. Let one finger off. I'm going to go ahead and let my index finger off. Put glue right here on the upper part of the cheeks, the middle part where the nose is, same with the cheeks right here, right there. Go ahead and just follow it around exactly how we had it, keeping our thumb on this side, keeping it nice and even so that we don't miss that center line with the nose here. Go ahead and push that down, fold and mold, and just make sure our face looks nice and tight and smooth. There's no wrinkles. We want him to be in his early 20s, even though I'm not. Okay, all jokes aside, just let that dry, and we're going to keep continuing on. This face is dried on. We're going to concentrate on all these lines here that looks like a feather crown. Let's go ahead and grab our trusty scissors, and we're going to make a couple snips here. We need to divide these lines. Snip one, snip right here on this bottom part of this line, and this one here, you snip on this one line right here. We're not going to snip this one, but we're going to go on the outer one on this one here, and go ahead and snip this one. And this outer triangle right here, we're going to snip right there. So we made 4 snips right here. This is where we glue this thing down. You can go ahead and start with this main piece right here. We're going to go ahead and add a pin drop of glue, not even a half trigger pump of glue, but we're smearing it and we're wisping it on all sides. We're going to gently take this middle crown part and just kind of bend it down with a little bit of a curve, and we're patting that down, pushing down on these 2 triangle sides. Folding and molding and just making sure that that's got a good seal. Then we can concentrate on these 2 horns. They look like horns, right? Follow the same lines here. And we're going to go ahead and just add some glue right here on this side, just kind of like adding a little bit of pin drop of glue, wisping it away. Don't forget our parchment paper. We can bring that back if we need it. And we're going to follow the same line right here, the same line that we cut out. We're following this line right there. And we're going to gently just kind of push that down and push the back of it. Don't worry about this well out right here, because that's going to be covered up with our mop top. We just are concerned about having it have a good seal on the back side right here. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it and just alternate it and do this side here. Same thing. Pin drop of glue, not so much. Gently bring this one back, follow this line right here. Right? Very gently. Go ahead and fold and mold. We can push on to these temple sides right here, getting rid of those mountain peaks, shaping the top of the forehead, letting that dry. And we'll go ahead and finish it off and put some glue right on the back here on these 2 fish gills. They look like fish gills, but they're not. It's the face. And this time we can bring our parchment paper on here on the seam and then just roll it on over and let that face dry. Same thing with this. Pull this fish gill back and add some glue right on the sides. Parchment paper back on the seam and just roll that on over. Oops. Hopefully that was in focus, but I think you get it if it wasn't. Okay, that's looking pretty good. That face is all in there good and tight and nice and straight. So we can actually move on to the back piece right here. We are going to add a straw neck bone. Save your favorite fast food restaurant straw. I got this from Del Taco. I like them. I like the little red stripes. Those come into play later. Measure this out from the top of the head to the bottom of the neck and chopping that off. Boom. See that fly off? You don't want that to happen. Okay. Pop this out, take our handy screwdriver, booyah, we can put it right on there and put a finger right on there, putting a straight line up into the camera. Let's go ahead and just apply this onto the head. And what we're going to do is just put a full trigger pump of glue right onto the straw. Screwdriver is helping the straw not melt, and we're going to go ahead and shove this right down on in the middle part of the head, making sure that we have a red line exposed. Make sure that this is straight up and down and firm. Put that screwdriver back in there, making sure that this straw doesn't melt on the other side, but it is adhering to the inside of the head. We can pull that out. Let's go ahead and cut this off. That's a little bit too exposed. We'll just course correct. If you need to cut a little bit of straw off, this is going to be covered up anyway, but we didn't want it poking out too much when we apply the mop top of the hair. That's feeling good. It's solid in there. You want to go ahead and see this red line. You want to chop right up into this red line, just like that. Oh my gosh. Why? Because this is going to be a neck straw bone. This is going to become the neck bone, and so that we can actually fit this on to the neck, mount this onto our neck straw bone. You can go, nope, I don't want that, and we'll get to more of this later. That's the reason why we wanted to do a snip right up on this red line, so make it sort of like a plastic spring for the neck straw bone. Alright? He can move his head like an owl. Ooh. Okay, let's keep moving on before my jokes get terrible. Let's add an under chin and a neck bib. So grab your piece of grocery bag paper stock, 5 inches by a little over 2 inches this way. Any piece that's going to accommodate this design right here. And it should look something like this. It's probably going to be called a neck bib. Again, sorry for my Sharpie fingers, but we're going to just do this tutorial and keep on going. This happened to have a natural fold, and I like that, so we're going to use that to our advantage because we're going to do a fold, trace, and fold cut. CF, that's center fold. This is going to go right on the center fold line. You're just going to trace this out. Your new version is going to be looking like this. Moving forward in the video, you might have a little extra here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this on camera so you understand what the new version looks like. Okay, exactly like this FoldTrace FoldCut right here. But moving forward in the video, it's going to be an older version. Just like that. Oops, another skip line. Go ahead and just cut this out. Just like Joey from Full House, cut it out. Boom, got this graphic side. So we can put this back in our head jar. Actually grab another nice clean piece of parchment paper here. That's going to help assist us. For this first part, the graphic side is facing the camera, right? Push this away from the graphic side or down to the table. Right where we see it folding, this kind of soft bend, we're going to put a thumb in there and do kind of like this curve bend. Curve bend with our thumb like this, right? We're giving a little bit of a curve. We're bending this chin part down. That's all we're doing for now. Now that we got this bend fold, our newspaper junk mail. What do we have on sale? St. Patty's Day already passed. Let's just tear off tiny pieces like that, because we are going to build this part up right here with our newspaper coupon. We're doing hot glue paper mache, putting this piece right there, bending this back, and making sure that we still concentrate on this curve bend while we hot glue paper mache to form like an under chin. And as you can see, it's naturally flapping down. Go ahead and just hot glue paper mache this under chin. We're not going to add newspaper coupon, that's totally fine, but we are going to smash this down onto the parchment paper because, as you know, it doesn't stick. But again, we are adding some extra paper leather texture to it. That's good to go. Picking away all the loose pieces. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more hot glue paper mache down here, and we're going to actually add another layer just to strengthen up this. Taking this piece right here, plopping it right on top, making sure that we still have this curved out while this is drying, and there we go. We're going to hot glue paper mache this side onto the parchment paper, using our nozzle to paint it on just like peanut butter and jelly. or mayonnaise, whatever gets you through the day. Using another side of the parchment paper, or you can just rub it on with your finger. Don't you just love parchment paper when you're doing crafts because it doesn't stick to the parchment paper. Also, you can use wax paper as well, but I got this parchment paper from the Family Dollar Tree for $1.25. Yes, not a dollar. $1.25. Turning this into paper leather, and there we go. We're off to the races. So we're good to go. We can go ahead and chop one of these sides off. This is the new design, and what I'm talking about, this is a marker, tip of this point right here. All of this inside here is what I'm talking about, and as you can see on the new design, I made little perforations. I have this example right here. Moving forward, we'll actually add some padding on the neck. We've already hot glue paper mache the neck in here. I'm showing you the choices here of how we can decide which side we want to chop off and overlap. And since I have a mark on this side, and there actually should be a mark right down here, I'm just going to go ahead and chop this off right at the point since this is already marked. So this side will overlap with this side being the middle of the back of the neck, like that. If you want to keep the perforations as a visual aid, that you can just cover up over the perforations. See how this kind of slopes down here? Of course, this is going to be the extra glue tab right here. Just like that. You might see stuff that we haven't already done, like this part right here, but we will get to that. So let's keep moving and grooving. Let's glue this neck bib under chin under the chin. If you can remember, we actually had this the face overlap just a tiny bit, like a couple millimeters. Look at this glue right here. We're going to actually take the neck bib, and remember the center fold line that we made? That's going to line up right into the middle of the chin. Just kind of use your best judgment. Run this edge right here all the way up to the chin, making the pink foam go away, dry fitting it, and kind of using our best judgment to close this gap off. I like that, so I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on there right underneath here. That's all we're doing. And then I'm going to go ahead and just push that on up in there. I'm just using this time as it dries to kind of lock that in place to make sure that the chin gap goes away, making sure that it's kind of even on there. We have some chin overhangs right here. We're going to get to that once this dries because I designed it to have a little extra so we can cut away as much as we need in terms of how skinny or fat the cheeks are going to be. Alright, so let's go ahead and just let that dry and we'll come back. Let's go ahead and cut this excess jowls off here. Now we're going to actually use this actual facial line to our advantage, and we're going to put the scissor blades, like my small scissors, along that line, and we're going to go ahead and place this under chin right in here. Go ahead and snip down this line. I'm going to lift this up here. Go ahead and snip right along this under chin right here. Flush along there. Right here on the back side of the jaw. Put a little pin drop of glue and just commit to finishing this off, right? Boom. There we go. Don't worry because hair is going to be covering this part up, but let's go ahead and try to cover as much of this under chin as possible. Let's do the same thing on this side. Just follow the same line right here and snip that off. And the same jawline. We're using the scissor blades to kind of feel the side of the chin and just snipping that off. We can actually put the glue on the tab here instead of the foam, but either way, we're going to go ahead and just close that off. That's it. Bring our parchment paper back on the scene here. We've got it looking pretty good. We are good with that. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's bring another piece of our foam back onto the camera. What we want to do now is concentrate on this neck melon. What we're going to do, draw this out and do another melon cut. Turn this over, mirroring this. Dab these two eyeballs right there. Just tracing it out. It looks like that. Check that out. Go right along this corner. See how we're just cutting, we're cutting this side and cutting this side. Going at a 45-degree angle. I got this right down on the table now. Bringing it back up. Do the same thing on this side. 45-degree angle. And there we go. We got a melon cut. Flip this back over. And these two eyeballs, we're going to go ahead and melon cut this close to the middle. Stopping right about there. That's about 1/4 of an inch. Oh my god, my fingers are so bad. You guys are probably judging me. That's okay. I'll just deal with the judging. Let's cut the melon cut right off on the top and right on the bottom. Now it looks like we got a little bit of an orange or lemon peel. Or Pac-Man. Okay, I've used that joke before, I think. Put this melon cut right here to the inner part of the neck bib. Put a dollop of glue, that's probably a half trigger pump of glue, and line it up to the middle part of the crease, and we're gonna smash this down, like really smash it down, like use put some force into it. We're letting this glue squash out to the sides. We added a little bit more support to this front side of the neck. Now we can concentrate on closing this off here. Take our Del Taco straw, pushing it into the neck bone. Take a piece of grocery bag paper stock, 2 inches this way, 1 inch this way, okay? It's just gonna be a rectangle shape because we're turning it into this shape. Fold it right in half. Take our piece, and of course the graphics are gonna go on the inside. Fold it in half, just like this. Take your handy scissors, and from the bottom right corner here, just go ahead and at an angle, kind of go upward, and do a little tiny bit of a curve at the top, and that's it. And open that up, and now we have a center fold right here. Don't worry about this because that won't be seen. And the reason why we wanted to do that, we wanted this to mask off all of this pink foam right here. If our measurements are right, it should wrap all the way to the other side where all the pink foam is exposed. We're going to cover that up, and we're also going to be using this piece to be a straw neck bone barrier. When we actually glue the two sides on either side here, it's going to prevent the straw from popping out just like that. That's pretty integral for this piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and just again measure right up to the edge line where we're covering up pink foam on both sides. I'm going to stick my fingernail right in the middle here and kind of use my fingers to kind of mark where I'm going to be placing glue on the inside of these two back braces right here. Two side lumps right here of foam. And I made some creases here. It's going to be a lot easier for me to follow that. We want to make sure that we measure that up first before we actually put it on. I'm going to go ahead and grab my hot glue gun on both sides. On this side, and this side, and this side, and this side. We don't want to put it on the straw. We want to keep it away from the straw bone. And let's go ahead and make sure the curved side is facing the sky, and we're going to go ahead and plop this right on over. And while it's drying, we're going to keep putting our fingers on in there. See how I'm kind of like putting my fingers in there? And up and down, we're making sure that we get some of that glue on in there. We're going to twist the straw to make sure that no glue is getting on the straw, so we can actually take the neck straw bone out. That's good. And now that's not going to ever pop out of the neck straw bone. Now let's go ahead and address these side parts here, and we're going to cover up pink foam and the jawline. Just put some hot glue on this, cover that up, mask that up like that. Turning this over, we'll do the same thing. It's just decorations. It's a facade. It's basically just a cover-up here. And we can put a glue on this top part here. You don't have to spend too much time on the top because it's going to actually be covered with hair, a mop top. But we just kind of want to do that just to make sure that everything's working. Bring our parchment paper back on the scene. Don't forget the parchment paper. This always works great in this project. So there we go. We just wanted to cover up these two sides, and we wanted to make this kind of a straw bone barrier back here. Okay, so that's looking good. It's kind of like a nape cover. Let's peel this off and keep moving. Gonna go ahead and add this next straw bone onto the wire joint here. One thing I wanted to point out, sometimes you'll get grip tips that are just really closer to the bottom of the eye loop. That's fine. The grip tip adds that extra third support. If you get to this point and you don't have enough grip tip to make a little grip tip hook, that's fine. You're not gonna be bending this neck too much. Well, you might, I don't know. The support on top of the neck is not as crucial as the support down into the rest of the joints here. You're gonna be manipulating and articulating a lot of the joints down here, especially in the waist area as well, to kind of pose your action figure. I know that the wire joint ends about right there. I'm gonna go ahead and prime the pump, add some glue right onto the eye loop here and the grip tip. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a pump and a half of glue down in there and just commit to putting this on there. And I'm folding and molding and pinching around the grip tip area because I want some glue to get right onto that. I'm going to swashbuckle it around, twist and shout, and we should be good. It's almost flush down to the bottom part of the neck here. Flip it over so see what it's like from the front side. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave that alone and let that dry for a good 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, let's make a tiny little modest neck bib right here. I'm talking about the actual undercarriage. So we have the regular neck right here. We need a little bit of undercarriage to hide this little bit of straw that might peek out when we actually move the neck back and forth. And I'll show you what I mean. This might peek out. This might be a little bit exposed, so we want to actually cover up where this melamine is. Take our handy little screwdriver, And take a piece of grocery bag paper stock, 3.5 by 1.5. Take our grocery bag paper stock and just start wrapping it and let that catch onto the shaft, putting a little curve in there. Wrap it, but not really tightly. It's going to be a little bit loose. See how it's a little bit loose in there? Take our hot glue gun, start gluing it along the way. Every so millimeter or so, we're going to just kind of glue it as we go. And that's all we kind of need and want to do here, and we can go ahead and cut this off to make it a little bit even back here. Go ahead and cut off about 3/4 of an inch. So we've got this little piece right here, right? And all we need to go ahead and do is we're going to take our wire nippers on both sides here, put a snip right on this side here, and a snip right on this side here, right? So now we've got this loose end that we can actually fold up and loose end that we can fold this way here. The most important part is the front side. We're going to leave this tag kind of like loose, and we're going to round it out actually on this. We're going to take off this corner here, and we're going to put it right over this straw bone, just like that. I'm just kind of dry fitting it. As you can see, we can dry fit the actual head on here. It's going to swoop right on over this part right here. Cosmetically cover up, camouflage into this neck here. Our rag cloth, we want to cut off a couple strips, one for the front, one for the back. A 1/2 inch by maybe an inch, inch and a half long. Put some glue right on the inside. Take one of our pieces. Let's go ahead and trim some of this rag back because we don't want that peeking out, and we'll go ahead and do the back as well here. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab this, put some glue right on the rag cloth in the chest. Make it really taut. Pull it down right onto where we put the glue here. The back's not going to be as visible or seen. We're going to do the same thing and just add the rag cloth back here. And the rag will keep this from popping up on the neck straw bone itself. Let's go ahead and add this back on so we can visually see what's going on here. See how it kind of camouflaged everything? And that's kind of what we want. Every once in a while, the neck straw bone is just too flimsy up here. We need this to be a little more rigid so that we won't have any problems putting the head on. This one doesn't have a lot of resistance, but sometimes it's just too flimsy. The way to remedy that is go ahead and take our coffee stir stick and stick this on down in there and kind of measure it out. So my thumb's right about there. Take our wire nippers from where we marked it, because we're going to actually just shove this on in just like that. But first of all, we're going to go ahead and just add one full trigger pump of glue, and we're just going to shove it on in there. That's all we're going to do. If we need to, we can go ahead and crimp the top just like this, causing it to go a little bit more narrow at the end, so you'll have no problems getting it on into the neck joint, just like this.